G'day YouTube, Max right here, and welcome to another video. Now I am still on vacation, you can tell by the background and not being set up and the bad lighting. I apologize for all of that, but I wanted to get this very important video to you. I actually get home tonight from vacation, so we'll get back to more regular programming, lots more Bitcoin technical analysis, much more market action news, all of the up-to-date stuff. I hope you appreciated the video series I made while I was away, which was just a little bit of a look at some of the more important altcoin projects. So, but let's get into some Bitcoin tea. I really wanted to get this out, even though I'm not home. I'm kind of cutting my vacation short a little bit on myself, but that's okay. In the meantime, go ahead, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, hit that bell all notification, and let's get into what's going on with the Bitcoin price, because I think we are at a really, really important moment. Are we going to explode up from here, or is this a rejection at 60K and we're going to come crashing back down? So let's take a look at it. I think Bitcoin's in a really, really interesting place right now. And there's some good news, there's some bad news. We're going to take a look at it all right now. Okay, so we can see here price of Bitcoin around about $60,000. Give me a second here. Oh, thanks, I just had to sneeze. So let's get into it. Okay, so we've got the Bitcoin. It's been butting up against this $60,000. Now we're going to take a look at some fractals here in the past to see if this can remind us of anything. And I think you'll see there's a very strong correlation. But first of all, I want to start off with a little bit of negative news. So this is concerning. So this is the RSI. This is the RSI on the daily chart, and you can see that the RSI has this clear downtrend. Right, the highs are getting lower. The bottom is here in like a frat, so we're in a clear descending wedge here on the RSI. Typically, when you see a trend line like this on the RSI, in the meantime, the price of Bitcoin is going in the opposite direction. When price and an indicator like this go in the opposite direction, it's called divergence. And usually it's an indicator, it is an indicator that the price is going to reverse so that it becomes in line with the indicator. So there is some bad news on the front of Bitcoin. But let's take a look at the Bitcoin price now. Actually, well, let's do it a different way. Let's go back and check out, let's go back to auto, and let's check out what happened at this point in time. So here is, just a few months ago, November, December 2020, and here is Bitcoin coming up to the all-time high of $20,000. It runs up from 10, okay, all the way up to 20 in a pretty swift motion. We get there. The price of Bitcoin doubles, it hits its all-time high, and it stalls out at about 19.3, 19.4, something like that. Comes down very, very steeply, okay? Comes back up and exceeds the previous high, the previous local high of 19.3, and actually goes up to the all-time high, I think even gets past it, of 19.9. Okay, so it had a little bit of a higher high, but then we come back down slowly, head back up slowly, and then on the third pass we break this trend line and price of Bitcoin goes absolutely parabolic. Over the space of the next kind of 3-4 weeks, we get a doubling. Price of Bitcoin goes from 20 to 40. Boom. Okay? In the meantime, let's look at what was happening on the RSI. So here's that rising wedge. I know it's a little bit harder to see, but here's the RSI. The RSI was trending down that whole time, again creating divergence. The RSI was in a descending wedge, the price action was in an ascending wedge, and eventually what happened was it broke out through the top, price went ballistic, the descending wedge was broken out to the upside on the RSI, and the rest is history. So to me, Bitcoin is repeating this exact pattern right now. Looks like that's exactly what it's doing, right? We have this run up, a doubling. Look at this, almost to the penny. Look, from 30,000 up to 60,000. Steep correction, come up, just go past it by a little bit. Here was 58, here it's at 62. Yep, we come back down slowly, we head back up slowly, we're just loitering around this all-time high, and I think what is most likely to happen is we're going to break through here, and if it gets to, like, so this was what? The price got to 61.6. Listen, round about 63, maybe you want to be super conservative, 64, you probably miss out on a little bit more of it. If it breaks through there, we could be in a situation where Bitcoin repeats that pattern and doubles in the next relatively short amount of time. Think 3 to 8 weeks type of thing, which would be perfection for me to match in with my price prediction, which I gave in 2019, that by May of 2021, we would see a $100,000 Bitcoin. So that's a really, really interesting sort of fractal that is playing out, and to see, are we going to repeat that? Let me know in the comments below. We've got much more things to look at, by the way, so don't leave me yet. But let me know in the comments below, do you think we're going to play out that pattern and we're going to break through 60 here? And I really like this because it's been, it's been a good 2 months here where people, let me just double check that. Maybe it's just shy. No. It is 45 days, so a month and a half, I should say. Month and a half. And by the way, I'm sorry because I'm not home. I don't have my mouse. I don't have my keyboard, so I'm a little bit clumsier with the chart, so I apologize for that. Next piece of information I do want to just check past is these blue lines. If you subscribe to this channel, you'll know that what I've done with these blue lines. These blue lines represent the last Friday of every month. What happens on the last Friday of every month is that Bitcoin futures expire. And what we've seen, and I'm not one of the ones who throw around manipulation words too often, so I'm not going to do it now either. I don't know if it's manipulation or not. I just don't know if it's just the way the market works. I don't know. But you'll see there's a pretty strong trend here that, on the last Friday of every month is kind of signaled within a day or two the bottom of these crashes. The last 3 last Fridays of the month have represented lows in this. Now, middle of the month have represented highs, right? We're in between the blue lines. Somewhere in here, we've had a high. Somewhere in right here, this one was really, really, really in the middle. Somewhere here had a high. Here it was a little bit towards the end of the month, and it fell down quite steeply. So, question, does this repeat? Now, here's the cool thing. Typically, these Fridays are 4 weeks apart. This particular month, we have, it's a 5-week period from last Friday of March to last Friday of April. It's actually 5 weeks, so we get a little bit more time. And it'll be interesting. Is the last Friday of the month going to cause the Bitcoin price to come back down? If so, maybe we're going to see a big rise up in the short term, then come back down in the big term, in the long term. Or it's only happened. Maybe it's happened. I could go back more months, but where I really noticed it was this year during this bull run, that those futures, and that's when the futures volumes really exploded. Prior to that, the futures volumes was not as high, but also trading volume in Bitcoin has increased significantly, so maybe they're proportional. So I'm just keeping my eye on that blue line, right? So, is that as we approach it, that I think the chances of a little bit of a pullback increases, okay? So, all right, we've got this rising wedge in Bitcoin price here. Rising wedge in the Bitcoin price. We've got the descending wedge in the RSI. They're in a little bit of a battle. Who's going to win, price or RSI? Let's have to wait and see. If things go to the downside, if we break below this trend line, and that trend line is a little bit outdated, we've got some new data here which suggests we might want to fall out of there, just change the angle of that line a little bit. We'll have to wait and see. Let's go take a look at, I'll go to my weekly chart. I will turn on my 21-week moving average. And the 21-week moving average is represented by this purple line here. And it sits currently at $42,000. Okay, for those of you who don't know, 21-week moving average, really, really important line during bull markets. In case you don't know, the 2021 season is a bull market in the 4-year cycle. It is typically the floor. The price comes down and checks in with the 21-week moving average with a correction every now and again. During bull markets, and we haven't seen one basically since all the way back in October of 2020. So we are now pushing 6 months worth of not visiting the 21-week moving average. But what I love is this 21-week moving average is climbing so fast. Like on this trajectory, we are only 2 months out, I would say, 2 months out from the 21-week moving average being at our current price. All right. So even if the price goes anywhere down near this blue line, near this 21-week moving average, my strongest suggestion, think what I will be doing. You do you, but what I will be doing is I will be backing up the truck, leveraging myself silly, and getting as much Bitcoin as I can. That is what I'll be doing. I'll say that, leveraging myself as much as I can with my trading account, which is a very small percentage. I've got a big HODL account, with my trading account. Manage your risk properly, guys. I can afford to lose 100% of my trading account. It will not affect my lifestyle whatsoever. So in my trading account, I will leverage myself to the eyeballs and try and hit a home run if Bitcoin came all the way down to that 21-week moving average. All right, I think that's kind of a good look at what's happening there. The other big news of the last week, since I've been on vacation, is kind of exactly as I predicted here. Let's kick back to the daily on the Bitcoin dominance chart. So this green trend line, it did break out exactly as I predicted, and we had this big fall down to the Bitcoin dominance. So we went from 61 down to, and we're at 55. And let's just take this out a little bit. Again, my target is this blue line here. It can definitely stop before then, but we're well on our way there. Remembering the Bitcoin dominance chart, as Bitcoin dominance falls, it's not a reflection of whether or not Bitcoin price is going up or down. What it's a reflection of is whether or not altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin. And yet, in the last little bit, we've had this definite trend towards altcoins. Definite trend. And I think probably it's fair to say that NFTs has been grabbing the lion's share of that. I want you guys to know, I'm not a big fan of NFTs. I think it's in a bubble. I think DeFi's got a lot more merit. And so if this was a DeFi-led altcoin bubble, I think I would have performed better because I was not on altcoins. But I would have been performed better, and B, I would have been participating in it more heavily. I'm still participating in it, but I don't do the NFTs, and that history may prove me horribly wrong on that. It certainly is at the moment, but I do not hold a lot of stock in the NFT stuff at all. I'm not saying long term; it's just way too immature. And also, my other problem with it is you got to kind of bet. You got to kind of bet on which NFT chain is going to be the most interesting. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that because I'm not as knowledgeable as I should be on the NFTs. The fundamental reasoning for it is not as strong as far as I'm concerned with regards to NFTs. So I don't really play with the NFT world, but I can be totally wrong on that one. Let's see how history judges me on that call. However, so with all that being said, I think we still have a little bit of room here to go where Bitcoin will be outperformed. So keep an eye on other things. And again, I would like to see that Ethereum, let's go look at Ethereum Bitcoin. So yeah, I did really well on this. And I let you guys know about this right here. Basically, because of that Bitcoin dominance chart, I went heavy in on Ethereum right here. And I got this really nice jump up. I hope you guys participated. If you participated in that, let me know. Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing that when I make good calls that you guys are following. When I make bad calls, I want you to say, thank God I didn't listen to you, Max. So let me know in the comments below if you participated in this Ethereum burst up, which I really, really liked. I did, in fact, I gave you notice of this way back here. I really think that, if you can just, it's just really easy from this. You look at this chart, and it jumps off the page at you. You can see that when we're down here in this range, in between these two red lines, it's really good accumulation time for Ethereum versus Bitcoin. As long as you've made the mental decision, which I have, it's like, okay, I want X amount of my available wealth into crypto. Well, now the question becomes, how do I get, which crypto do I want to be in at any given time? Well, when Ethereum comes down here, I rotate out of Bitcoin and into some Bitcoin, and that's proved very, very good for me over the last few days. Hope that's worked out well for you, and on a lot of things too. I'm also big on ADA. That's done really well. Great to see that up at 128 today. Let's take a quick look at that one. Get me back on order, back on the daily. I'm just having a quick look here. Again, I see rising wedge. But I think it's more important to look at the ADA Bitcoin one. So, this one's kind of coming. This one's interesting. This one's looking a lot more of a symmetrical triangle. I think I would be tempted. No, not quite. I don't know. I'm not sure. I have to give that one a few more days to see exactly what I think is going to happen there with ADA. But it's good to see it get moving again for sure. Where was it? But it's also a little bit tricky. Yeah, a little bit tricky because again, it's Bitcoin price movement's more interesting. Let's take a quick look at Link. It's doing quite well. Let's take a look at Link Bitcoin. Yeah, and again, we're looking like in pretty good accumulation phase for Link. So I don't know. Maybe my my anti-NFT stance might come to play, because if I think it's possible that the NFT bubble can pop without the altcoin bubble popping, and if it does, we'll see a huge rotation into more of the DeFi projects, right? Like the Links, and like some of the other general chains like Ethereum and DOT and ADA, where people, it's like a NFT had its little moment of glory. It went up really fast, good times, people taking out profits. What are they going to jump back into? I think they're probably still going to have an appetite for altcoins, maybe just to some of the more conservative ones, or maybe a little bit different use cases. And so maybe it comes back into Ethereum, DOT, Binance, ADA. Something to consider. All right, guys, looking forward to being back in my studio tomorrow, giving you more Bitcoin analysis. So do me a favor, if you like this kind of content, go ahead, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.